need a diamond. So I'm going to save you some time and money by telling you this. You need to go see my jeweler, Williams Jewelers, for that perfect diamond engagement ring or the ultimate holiday gift. Or hey, just because that special somebody really deserves it. This holiday, imagine the finest jewelry legends all in one store together, treating you just like family, and their service is going to reflect that. So come shop the finest loose diamonds in Denver. They have every size, shape, and price range you can imagine, and the largest selection of engagement ring settings I've ever set eyes on. And not only are they going to share the secrets of the business with you, but they're going to give you the best price in Colorado, guaranteed. So why wouldn't you want to create moments and memories for yourself and the ones you love by going to Williams Jewelers, the official jeweler of the Colorado Avalanche, Denver's first family of fine jewelers, located in Cherry Creek North on 3rd Avenue, and also in Inglewood at Broadway in Bellevue. And don't forget to let them know that Philip Lindsay sent you when you step through one of those doors.
Hey Broncos country, it's Terrell Davis here. You know, in the game of life, our most valuable asset is our health. With the right equipment, you can train like a pro. That's why I made the smart move to invest in fitness equipment with Fitness Gallery. It's a game changer. I have a true treadmill at home. It's the smoothest and quietest I've ever been on.
For the fitness fanatic on your Christmas list, save big this holiday season. At Fitness Gallery, we have deals everywhere, up to 50% off. Visit one of Fitness Gallery's 7 convenient locations from Colorado Springs to Fort Collins. We have you covered.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Zach here. The holidays will be here before you know it, and for many families, that means excitement, but also stress. Between gifts, travel, and higher prices, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, especially if you're already relying on credit cards to cover the basics. If that debt is piling up, you're not alone. If you're a homeowner, you might have considered reaching out to my friends at American Financing, but hesitated because you don't want to give up your low mortgage rate. That's why American Financing created the Smart Equity Loan, a simple, smart way to get your finances back on track without giving up your low mortgage rate. Unlike a HELOC, which can fluctuate with the market, the Smart Equity Loan offers a fixed rate, so you'll have one predictable monthly payment. It lets you use your home's equity to pay off high-interest debt, free up cash flow, and still keep your existing mortgage intact. There are no upfront fees to find out if you qualify. Call American Financing at 303-695-7000 or visit them online at americanfinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Catch a ride with EV and Auto. Catch a ride.
Merry Christmas from EV and Auto and your friends at Foundation Chevrolet,
where we've got a whole lot of deals.
During the Red Tag sales event, dash away in a brand spankin' new Chevy Equinox EV.
Or shiny new Chevy Blazer EV. All electric, all priced most merrily.
Together, let's drive. See us in Wheat Ridge or visit FoundationChevrolet.com.
Happy holidays and catch a ride.
Jim, it's late in the half here at Empower Field, and things are coming down to the wire at the concession stand.
Nachos are a solid choice, but Grant needs to finish strong here.
He scans his wallet and pulls out his Broncos checking debit card for 10% off.
Wow, savvy move. And with no surprise fees, he won't regret this order.
I don't know, Jim. That's a lot of cheese. Bank like a Bronco with Broncos checking from INT Credit Union. Insured by NCUA. Membership required.
Anna had a very severe brain injury.
My dad got in contact with Berg Simpson.
They didn't think about the money. They thought about what was best for Anna. That's all that mattered to me, just making sure that she was okay.
Not only would I recommend Berg Simpson to others, I have recommended Berg Simpson to others.
If you've been injured, call Berg Simpson for free now at 303-790-2525. BergSimpson.com. Good lawyers changing lives.
Hey guys, boy Steve here today about my long-term buddy Troy Hansford. And if you're thinking about selling your house for any reason, now might be the time to sell, still get top dollar. Believe it or not, my guy Troy is still offering his $5,000 guarantee. What is it, you ask? Well, if you can't sell your house at your price on your timeline that you agree upon beforehand, bam, going to cut you a check for $5,000. Who else makes the offer? Nobody I've ever heard of. And he makes that offer because he continues to spend a ton of money marketing his listings, has about 100 families approved and ready to buy right now. And if for any reason you need to sell right away, Troy can buy your house, all cash, and he can close in as little as 7 days. You have a house to sell, Troy probably has that perfect buyer for you right now, waiting for you to pick up the phone and to call him. Call Troy, get your home sold for the most money. That's 720-944-33, 720-944-33. Troy Hansford of RE/MAX Professionals, a Colorado licensed broker. Some restrictions do apply. Want to sell your house? Then call my buddy Troy, 720-900-4433. 4433.
Audible's romance collection has something to satisfy every side of you, because you can't be pinned down, unless you want to be. Your first love story is free when you sign up for a 30-day trial at audible.com.
KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. You're listening to Denver Sports 1043. The Fan. It's a Bud Light Football Friday. Bud Light, an official beer sponsor of the Denver Broncos. Here's Denver Sports Tonight.
Bud Light Football Friday winding down. Oh, Mike Rice, Dante Gomez. You know, Dante, sometimes I just need to exhale. So can I do that one more time?
Absolutely. Got a full hour for you to do that.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, I guess. I think the listeners would be upset if you were only exhaling.
Yeah. That would be true. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Am I looking at... Are you looking an awful lot like Matt Campbell right now?
Yeah.
In your bent
You like it?
Penn State hat?
Huh?
Yeah.
My Nittany Lions hat from the pilgrimage. It's only a pilgrimage because I went there. I'm not like a Penn State guy. I didn't like grow up.
When you say went there, you meant went there for a weekend.
For a weekend,
Yeah.
yes. Yes. See, I can't even say that on a Friday. No, took the youngest son to Penn State IU back in early November, got the ball cap. Very simple. That is one thing that's kind of cool. When you think of uniforms that are so busy, like Oregon or some of the others that are out there, Penn State's about as basic and as classic as you can get. Which one do you like?
It's like them, Alabama.
I'm
trying to think about some.
Yeah.
Ohio State's are pretty basic.
Pretty basic. Tennessee's pretty basic.
Yeah.
Just the orange and white.
They'll mix in some blacks every
That's
once in
true.
a while, though. Gray.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of like the basic ones. Maybe I'm just
I like
simple.
some of them because I hate Notre Dame's. But
Well,
that's super basic.
okay. Yeah, I'm Notre Dame's a whole different animal
Just
altogether.
not a fan
right?
of them as an entity.
There you
in
go.
general.
There you go. 303-713-1043. Well, the Broncos and Packers will square off, and we're gonna dive into this one. We'll dive into the playoff situation because that's just sort of now a weekly thing we have to do because we're getting down to that time of year, and the Broncos are right in the thick of things for the number 1 seed. We'll discuss whether or not they're going to get that or we think they're going to get it. And then maybe we'll talk some nuggets towards the end of the show as well. But as you look at this Broncos-Packers game, we open up the RamosLaw.com text line, 303-713-1043. It's actually always open. So you're always welcome to text. I was thinking about the schedule for the Broncos the rest of the way. They've got a seemingly playoff-bound Green Bay team, a seemingly playoff-bound Jacksonville team, both at home the next 2 Sundays. Christmas night at Kansas City, seemingly not playoff-bound, but still dangerous because of what they have been. And then a seemingly Jekyll and Hyde Chargers team that is pretty good most of the time, at least, and that will be at Empower Field on that first weekend in January, the 3rd or the 4th. Out of these 4, with the Broncos fighting for the top seed, what's the toughest matchup? What game scares you the most?
I think the toughest matchup is the Packers this weekend. I think they're the most complete team that they're going to face. But that Chargers game in Week 18 might be the most important game in terms of, the AFC West is on the line. I don't even want to imagine that. The Broncos are potentially not going to win the division after how well they've played the last, 10 games in a row here. So I don't think it'll be for the division, but there's a decent chance it is for the division in that last week. So that could be the most important. But yeah, toughest challenge, toughest team they're going to face, I think it's the Packers 2 days from now.
Does that make it the scariest game for you?
Depends what we're talking about. What kind of scared are we talking? Again, scary to me would be losing the division to the Chargers in the last week of the year.
Fair.
So I think I'd have to stick with that as the scariest game, most to lose in a game.
Yep.
And to me, that's a little scary. But it is tough in terms of the opponent this week at the facing the Packers, but on the Broncos side of things, it is here in Denver, and Denver's been lights out at home. They've really used that home field advantage to their advantage, so I think that helps a little bit. But if we're talking neutral site field, the last 4 teams remaining, I very confidently would say the Packers are the best team.
Yeah, I think it is. I'm with you. It's the toughest matchup. Kansas City's, I know they haven't been very good. They've been pretty mediocre. That's still a bit of a scary matchup when I think of the Broncos might needing to win out in order to stay in a tie with New England. That's very possible. And we'll go through some of the other teams' schedules as we go along. But this Green Bay team, man, I mean, the more I think about it, it's one of those where at first I feel, that's feel pretty good about a Broncos win. Then I start, really kind of thinking about the Packers and what they've done and what's on the line for them. And I go, oh, man, this is going to be an old Donnybrook out behind the woodshed. You never heard that expression, Donnybrook?
I have not, no.
Oh, let me tell you. Packers are 9-3-1. That tie to the Cowboys. Was that week 1? I was trying to remember.
No, I think it was like week 4.
Okay. It was early, though. And they're chasing the Rams for the number 1 seed.
Well, not even that. They weren't even winning their division as of last week this time. They had to beat the Bears last week to take over first place in their own division. So the Bears are right on their heels. So there's no assurances that this team's even going to win the NFC North. They have to go out and win some ball games to finish out the year.
Well, right. But they're also chasing the Rams. They're half game back.
Yeah.
So, but the Bears are kind of chasing the Rams too. To your point, they're 9-4, just a game behind LA. So it's really interesting. And if I've been thinking about Jordan Love and how he's, and Zach and Phil, I thought, did a great job sort of documenting what he's done, especially in the last weeks of the regular season. As the games get more important, Jordan Love gets better and better. He seems to start off, even this year, he started off okay. Wasn't anything special, but you look at how he's been playing. Dante, the Broncos, this is going to be a really interesting matchup. And I want to get your thoughts on it. And if you guys have any thoughts on the RamosLaw.com text line, let us know, 303-713-1043. Going in, the way they're playing, the Packers offense, and Jordan Love in particular, and the Broncos defense, who gets the edge in that matchup? Because Love, terrific young quarterback, playing his best football of the season right now down the stretch. Broncos defense has been very, very good. So as more than one person, as pretty much all Broncos country has thought this week, has he faced a defense that will test him as much as the Broncos will? I think it's fascinating.
Yeah, to me, I would give the edge to the Broncos defense. I just think this Broncos defense is the number 1 unit in all of football at this point. You could even talk about, I know the Patriots offenses look great this year. I would have a lot of trust in this Broncos defense stopping pretty much every offense in the NFL, outside of maybe a Josh Allen, Hercules performance, something, or maybe like a Matt Stafford in that Rams offense. Other than that, I really do trust this Broncos defense to go out there and play well against whoever's on the other side. I mean, we've seen it all season. I don't know why I would expect it to stop. So, especially if you factor in the fact that the game's at home in Denver, this Broncos defense seems to really feed off of the energy that they get down at Empower Field. And obviously the crowd noise comes to advantage too. We had Sean Payton, kind of coaching up the crowd earlier this week in one of his press conferences saying, hey, it's great when they're, loud and they can't communicate at the line of scrimmage. But do you know what's even better? Is when they can't even communicate in the huddle when they're trying to call that play, and how much of a disaster that can be if somebody doesn't, hear the play correctly during that huddle. So I expect Broncos country to be out there and loud this week. And again, that only leans into, I think, this Broncos defense. I have a lot of trust in them.
I think the crowd is going to be absolutely off the hook. absolutely into it like we haven't heard this year and haven't heard in a long time. And
you don't think that Chiefs game was pretty? I felt like it was jumping. You think it'll be even a step above that?
Bro, the way the – sorry, can I call you bro?
Hey, call me bro.
There you go. With these games getting more and more important and the Packers and the Packers being talented and Jordan Love being kind of on a roll and Sean Payton calling for Broncos country to show out loud and proud, I know there might be some cheeseheads in the crowd because they have a way of getting some tickets, but I'm confident Broncos country is going to show out. I'd be disappointed if it weren't as loud as the Chiefs game.
Well, it sounded like you were about to say it should be louder than the Chiefs game, step above that.
Well,
I think we're going to see.
I could make a case for that.
No, I think you could as well. I think we're going to see a decent amount of Packers fans at this game. They just travel so well. They have fans in pretty much every city across the country. So I expect there to be more Packers fans at this game than almost any other opposing team's fans that we've seen this season. You know, maybe you can compare it to Kansas City when they were here or when the Giants were in town. But other than that, I think this Packers crowd is going to be making a dent in Broncos country a little bit.
Well, I still think it'll be loud. I'm hopeful that the Packers will be affected. The Broncos defense, going back to who has the edge, that unit or Jordan Love. I really do respect what Jordan Love, the young talent he is. Do I think he's in that elite group? No, I think he's outside of that group still, but he's dangerous, and he's got some really dangerous receivers. But I haven't seen this Broncos defense get roasted since, the Colts game? I mean, I think it's fair to say they kind of got roasted in that game. Would that be an overstatement for that game?
No, I think that's a fair assessment. The Washington game wasn't great for the whole 60 minutes.
But it wasn't – I don't think they got torched in that game. I thought Daniel Jones did some really good things.
It felt like they were in control on offense for a large portion of that game. I would agree that it was a worse showing in Indy than that Washington game. You could even throw in the Giants for the first 3 quarters of that game. Their offense was moving the ball pretty well. But I think that had to do with how bad the Broncos' offense was in that game too. So I wouldn't put that in the exact same grouping as the other 2 games.
On the RamosLaw.com text line from the 8727, litmus test this week, right? Is this a measuring stick? Is this a game? Maybe not so much for us here in Broncos country, because I think Broncos country has a lot of confidence in what this team has done, what it is doing, and how far the Broncos can go. But I would say nationally, it is something of a measuring stick to try. Not that the Broncos care about this. I'm not suggesting that. But if they want to make believers of more people nationally, this is a game I think they need to play well and win.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And I think not necessarily win. I think winning obviously would, put them atop the Super Bowl predictions, but I think you just have to play well in the game. Even if you lose tight, which, obviously there's no moral victories, you just have to show that you belong with these top teams in the NFL. And the Broncos haven't really had many cracks at playing, these top teams in the NFL. They haven't played, the Rams this year. They're not going to play the Rams this year. They're not going to face the Patriots this year. I think the Patriots are in the same boat as the Broncos, as they have to go out and prove it a little bit. And they have a great opportunity to do that this weekend as they play the Bills. So I think both teams have a lot to prove this weekend in terms of, who's a legitimate AFC contender and who's more just relying on a lighter schedule that they face this year.
Bo Nix. Such a big part. And by the way, the thing about the Broncos, which is, and it goes to your point that you were just talking about, how they always have a chance, or they seemingly always have a chance because of that defense. That's why if the offense continues to progress and Bo can continue to progress, Dante, I really like their chances in this game, but also as they play well against these kind of teams, which I think they're going to play well offensively against the Packers. I don't know if they're going to roll up 31 points, because the Packers are just that good, or can be. But there's no reason that the Broncos, that there should be a fear that they're going to go out and just lay an egg as a group, both units, and get blown off their home field. So I'm taking,
real quick, I want to
dive into that.
Yeah.
Okay,
when you say there's no fear that they'll lay an egg as a unit, would you say the same as a team? Would you say that same sentence about just the offense?
There's a better chance the offense will struggle mightily than the defense, for sure. I have a hard time seeing this defense give up 31 points. They'll probably give up some yards. They'll probably give up a few big plays. But they've been they are what they've been, which is stout, which is stingy in the red zone like no other team in the NFL. Do I think the Packers are going to come in here and change all of that? I don't, especially if Jacobs is iffy or limited or doesn't play or however that may work. We don't know yet. But offensively, yeah, I mean, there's still a part of me that wonders. I'll put it this way. There's a part of me that has trouble completely forgetting a good portion of the Eagles game, a good portion of the Giants game, the Jets game, those kind of outings for the offense. But I'm certainly heartened by what they've done the last few weeks. Improvement against Kansas City, improvement against Washington, looked pretty darn good with the 3 almost 9+ minute drives last week against the Raiders. That offense seems to be finding some rhythm, finding some production. So would I expect the Broncos to revert to form from what we all saw earlier in the year? I don't see that either. That's why I see the Broncos winning this game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be hard fought. And I think the Broncos are ultimately going to win. We'll give scores a little bit later in our predictions, but yeah, this is a fun one because it is, as a couple of people have said on the RamosLaw.com text line, could be a Super Bowl preview, could be that kind of matchup. If this were an AFC team we're talking about, could very well be a playoff type of preview, like next week with Jacksonville. If both teams keep handling their business, that could be another playoff preview. That's why I love this game. That's why I think the Broncos need games like this down the stretch. I'm glad they don't have a completely cupcake schedule here down the stretch. They're playing for something. It'll keep them sharp. It'll keep them focused. There's a lot on the line with the number 1 seed, but not just the number 1 seed, Dante. How they're playing. That's what's so important to me offensively.
Yeah, I'm excited for this final stretch of the Broncos, that they can go out and prove that they belong to be the 1 seed in the AFC. There's no lucking into the 1 seed in the AFC at this point. You're going to have to go out there and earn it with these 4 games. Most likely, you're going to need to win 3 of the 4 games to win the AFC or to be the 1 seed going into the playoffs here. So, and these are no, slouches of opponents they have coming up here. So they're going to have to go out there and prove it. And I'm excited to see what they, what the results are after these 4 games and how that can maybe change the national opinion on the Broncos, how that can maybe change the local opinion on the Broncos, depending on the results of these games. We had our own, DenverSports.com's Will Peterson wrote an article earlier this week. I don't know if you caught it, about how, given that the one caveat was that they still win the 1 seed, he wouldn't mind seeing a loss down the stretch here to kind of just reset the team, refocus the team. How did you feel about that? Do you agree with that sentiment that maybe this team shouldn't be riding what would be a 14-game win streak into the playoffs?
That'd be wild.
And that maybe a loss would be good for them down the stretch here? Again, given that they're still the 1 seed, would it be good for, just the details of this team and taking care of the ball and, all that encompasses that maybe you can lose when you're on a big win streak?
Yeah, I truly go back and forth on this topic. I do. There's a part of me that completely agrees with Scrap that just says, get the loss out of your system, use it for the positives, with the caveat that you still get the 1 seed. That's not a given, though. So that throws a little bit of a wrinkle into things down the stretch for the Broncos. But I don't know that this team needs a loss, and here's why. They've been remarkably focused. And Bo has been, I think, at least he's come across this way. I don't know what he's like in his mind and heart, but he comes across as remarkably mature and composed and poised and in the moment. And even if things aren't going great, there's always that air that it's like, okay, he's going to find his way out of this. And he has for the most part. And that's the thing, Dante. they've been a team that's been so resilient and resourceful that they find a way to get it done that I don't know that I would. I think if you had to pin me down, I would say I part company with Will. If I had to pick a side, I'd say I don't think they need a loss as in the same way that some other teams have needed one down the stretch.
I think it's a fair take on it, and I think what speaks to what you're talking about there is even after some of these wins, Sean Payton isn't, the most joyful guy, and Bo Nix isn't the most joyful guy because they realize, hey, we won this game, but we were a little bit lucky to win this game. That offense of ours didn't really show up and have our defenses back. A lot of these games have been, not as much recently, but, during the beginning of this stretch have been more due to the defense playing really well and the offense just kind of playing just at that line well enough to win a game. So I think while it is a 10-game win streak, I don't know if they have that mindset of a traditional 10-game win streak just because of how it's looked throughout a lot of those games.
Absolute fair point. And this goes along to what Joe texts in on the RamosLaw.com text line. If Bo plays poorly and the Broncos eke out a win because of their D, it won't change the national narrative on the Broncos. I think Joe has that exactly right. Because you
don't think it would? I actually do. Real quick, I'm just going to butt in here.
Absolutely.
I think it would in terms of a lot of people are saying, oh, this Broncos team, barely ekes out all these wins against these bad teams. But if you can do that against a good team like the Packers, it kind of proves that, hey, we're just good in tight games. So I think it would change a little bit of the national perspective on these guys.
But it wouldn't change the narrative on what people think the offense is. People think
that's fair.
The people think the offense is not good enough to make a run to a Super Bowl title, let alone a Super Bowl appearance. At least a lot of people don't feel that they're of that ilk right now because of the way the offense has been inconsistent. And so I don't think it would move the needle. It would be like, hey, great win, but the offense is still what it is, and that's not going to be good enough to go deep. Here's an interesting take from Broncos Maniac on the RamosLaw.com text line. Get ready, Broncos country. The fact Sean Payton has to ask Broncos country to make some noise and show out Sunday is embarrassing and sad. Real Bronco fans watch at the bars or home because we can't begin to afford a ticket. Mile High is set up for the wine and cheese crowd. Is that a Chiefs fan in disguise? Is Broncos Maniac just changing his colors for a moment?
Sounds like he's a Broncos maniac. I don't know I don't think he would be a Chiefs fan in that case. I don't know if I agree with that quite yet. I think
don't
once
either.
Once they move homes, it might turn into that a little bit. But I think for now, you still get a lot of fans, and that place is loud. I have been to a handful of NFL stadiums, and I went to a Broncos game last winter. It's the loudest I've ever seen an NFL game. It's the most into it a crowd I've ever seen at an NFL game, and I've been to playoff games, and this game was fairly meaningless to when I was at. And the fact that this Broncos crowd still gets up on a third down when I think they were up by 15, 20 points in this game. It was fourth quarter, and they were still doing, the big third down chants. And I was like, wow, this is just a different level of fandom compared to a lot of the NFL games I've been to. Reminded me more of almost a college crowd. So I don't know if I necessarily agree with this texter saying that the real Broncos fans aren't in that place.
I'm with you, and I also don't agree with with Broncos Maniac, that Sean was really asking the fans to be loud. I think he was emphasizing how much it helps, especially, and this was a bit of a layer or a nuance, and you mentioned it earlier when Sean said, "In the huddle, be loud." A lot of times when I've been to games, not just Broncos games, but the crowd tends to get loud as the opposing offense is coming to the line of scrimmage. Sean was just reiterating to me, that's how I took it. Hey, be loud earlier than that so that it affects Jordan Love in the huddle. I thought that was a reminder and just a little point of emphasis, not like, hey, would you guys please be loud while you're sipping your wine and biting on your cheese?
Nah, I'm with you on that too. I don't think he was necessarily being like, oh, this home crowd, what's the point of them? They don't even help us really. Obviously, they've helped a lot. They're undefeated at home, and this defense looks incredible when they're at home for the most part. So I don't think he was taking a shot at Broncos country by any means. I think he was just, asking for maybe a little extra help with how big of a game they have this weekend.
From Harv on the RamosLaw.com text line, they don't need a loss to get a wake-up call. It's only been 10 years that they've been losing.
Well, to that I would say, and Sean Payton said this, I want to say a year or two ago, that's not our hump. When he was talking about, I think it was the Chiefs losing streak, and about how, this team has lost 12 in a row, whatever it was by the end of it. And Sean Payton just says, hey, that's not my hump. That whatever happened before this, that's not what is, in this organization now. So I don't know if that 10 years of losing quite impacts Sean Payton in any way.
Oh, here's one. We got to get this in here before the break on the RamosLaw.com text line from the 1808. Just flew into DIA. Lots of pukey Packers fans. Oh, here they come.
Maybe he was wrong about wine crowd, but there's definitely going to be a cheese crowd there.
Very nice. Well done. Who's the favorite in the AFC? Who's the favorite in the NFC? A look at the playoff picture next.
How should Sean Payton protect Bo Nix from Micah Parsons? Can Vance Joseph's defense avoid another December slump? You'll break it all down in the Fan Football pregame show. Live on game day starting at noon. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Hey guys, Mark Schlereth here from my friends at Xfinity. Imagine all that could happen in 5 years. Jobs may change, kids are going to grow, new memes will come out, but also, what if you had reliable, intelligent Wi-Fi and the price didn't change for 5 years? Well, thanks to Xfinity 5-year price guarantee, you actually don't have to worry about that part of your future. You're guaranteed 5 years of Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to your devices that need them the most, that finds and fixes any issues before you even notice them. It's like a super intelligent Wi-Fi that keeps you protected from threats online. Plus, you get incredible gaming speeds on multiple devices with no one battling for bandwidth. For the next 5 years, all your devices are going to be working in perfect harmony, and you get our best equipment with no annual contracts, no fees, no strings attached. So even though your kids will grow up and you still won't understand what 6-7 means, your internet will stay sharp, reliable, and most importantly, the price will stay put. All with the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Select plans only.
Babe, your arms look amazing. Working out is paying off.
Thanks. I just wish my chest matched. No matter what I do, I'm frustrated with my man boobs.
Hey, don't beat yourself up. More than half of men have gynecomastia. It's gland tissue, not laziness. Same thing is happening to my friend Trisha's husband. He went to Dr. Cameron Dastry at Modern Surgical Arts of Denver.
For real? He get good results?
He got great results. Call him, honey.
Call today. They're offering complimentary consultations for the fan listeners. 303-470-3400 or at modernsurgicalarts.com.
Brandon Stokel here from my friends at Roller Auction. Do you have items you're looking to sell? Since 1976, Roller Auction has been conducting commercial and industrial auctions for Colorado government agencies, Fortune 500 companies, small business owners, secured creditors, individuals, and more. They have a large marketplace to showcase your assets, so don't wait. Visit rollerauction.com for a free consultation and turn those items into some cold, hard cash. Again, go visit them at rollerauction.com. That's rollerauction.com.
Wow, Leslie, your fireplace really sucks.
I beg your pardon?
Well, what I mean is your fireplace is literally sucking all the air out of your house and right up the chimney every time you burn it.
Well, what can I do about it?
Well, you could get a high-efficiency gas insert from Cozy Heat. It keeps all the air you already pay the utility company to heat, and it returns up to 80% of the fire's heat back into your house.
I'd use my fireplace every chance I get if I could do that. Maybe my furnace wouldn't need to run so much.
Well, that's the whole point. Hi, this is Keith Lair with Lair Fireplace and Patio, along with my niece Leslie, to tell you how a gas insert from Cozy Heat will give you the incentive to use your fireplace again. Cozy Heat gas fireplaces and inserts are made to crank out the heat with beauty and style.
Lair's is Denver's oldest, most trusted name in fireplaces. Family owned and operated since 1954.
We'll even give you a free in-home quote, including expert installation by our own certified in-house installers.
Find us on the web at lairfireplacepatio.com.
For top quality Cozy Heat fireplaces and inserts, it's Lair Fireplace and Patio, Denver's fireplace experts.
If you have a tax problem, please don't put your destiny with the IRS in the hands of a salesperson. This is Todd Whalen, founder of Advanced Tax Solutions. Many companies use commissioned salespeople that may not have your best interest at heart. At Advanced Tax Solutions, you will only meet licensed professionals who are also certified in tax resolution. You will never meet an unlicensed salesperson to determine your fate. You can trust Advanced Tax Solutions for good advice, and the meeting is free. AdvancedTaxSolutions.com.
Most business owners and decision makers work hard but stay frustrated because customers simply don't know they exist. Marketing isn't about being flashy. It's about making sure people understand how you solve their problem. Audio, video, and online campaigns put your message where your customers are already paying attention. And your friends at DenverSports, they specialize in connecting customers to businesses. The moment you get clear and show up consistently, growth follows. Don't stay the best kept secret in town. Visit DenverSports.com and click on the Advertise with Us button and start growing today.
Hey guys, Mark Schlereth here. I'm going to be blunt. If your windows are drafty, sticking, or leaking, cold nights are costing you money. In January, they'll cost you even more. Window prices are going up. Gravina's Window Center of Littleton is locking in 2025 pricing, but orders must be placed by December 31st. Don't let the 2026 price increase punch you in the wallet. Order by December 31st or you're paying 2026 prices. Go to windowsforyourhome.com or call them at 303-794-0490.
As the year winds down, Groove Toyota is helping you gear up for the road ahead. And right now, Groove Toyota has stocked over 35 used vehicles under $10,000. Great picks, great value, and perfect for Colorado drivers who want more without overspending. And with Toyotathon in full swing, it's the easiest time of the year to upgrade your lineup with a pre-owned Toyota or another solid used option before the year closes out. Finish the year strong with Groove Toyota.
On Broadway in Inglewood or online at GrooveToyota.com.
This segment on 104.3 The Fan, powered by Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic.
It's a Bud Light Football Friday. Bud Light.
in exchange for like 3 players and a 2026 first-round pick. So the Central gets tougher. The Avs road, in a sense, tougher from the standpoint of that puts even more emphasis on the Avs needing to win that division. It's just crazy when you look at the Western Conference of the NHL. We're going to get back to the NFL playoffs in just a second. But, Dante, you look at as well as the Avs have been playing, 51 points to lead the NHL. Dallas is 4 points behind. And we're not even at January 1st yet. We're not even at the Winter Classic. I mean, goodness gracious, the Wild are tied for third in the West. I mean, right now, when you look at the NHL, it's the Avs and Stars. The Stars' 47 points are 7 clear of the rest of the league. So, I mean, it's brutal. That Central Division is just a gauntlet. Avs have got to be up for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, it's a good season for these other teams to be playing that well as far as the Avalanche go, because they are just an absolute wagon at this point. They just don't lose. Showed it off last night in that win against the Panthers. Oh man. Goodness. Never even a sweat for these guys.
With a lot of the 95, 96 guys in town, I mean, putting it on the 2-time defending champs in front of our guys. Yeah, it's like, not so fast, Pam. I was thinking something last night as I'm watching that Avs game. I thought, the last time the Avs won a cup, they were trying to dethrone a team that had won 2 in a row in the Tampa Bay Lightning. And last night, now it wasn't obviously a playoff series, it wasn't a cup final series, but hey, at least they took care of the Panthers. So that was good. Anyway, the Central gets a little bit more interesting, to say the least. It really puts.
I like it for the Avs, though. Keep the foot on the pedal, no letting up. They know someone's on their butt right behind them, and now they might have two teams right behind them that they have to worry about. So I think it'll just keep this team very focused on the goal. I don't even know if they need extra help to be focused, but if they do, they certainly have it.
And to your point, that point about staying focused, we were talking before the break about, do the Broncos need a loss? Would a loss be good to make sure that they stay buttoned up and stay focused and all the rest? I don't think they do, and they may lose a game. I don't think they need to lose a game to be ready for the playoffs, even if they go into the playoffs winning 14 in a row, because they haven't been great in all those 14 games. They found a way to win 14 games or 10 games at this point. But that's why I think they've shown enough flaws and enough warts to where they know they have no business resting on their laurels and thinking that anything's going to come easy. Go ahead.
And I'm just realizing the NHL player. I'm not just realizing, but just connecting dots here.
Yeah.
There's a decent chance Dallas and Minnesota faces off in the first round, right? If the Avs get the first seed in the division, I'm pretty sure your second and third team in your division face off. If I understand the NHL playoffs, I think I do, which is a very difficult thing to understand.
Honestly, I'd have to go back and look at it.
I'm pretty sure the way it works is if you're the 1 seed in your division,
it's insane.
The 2 and the 3 seed face off, and then you'll face a wild card below them.
It's ridiculous.
So, double-edged sword here. Great side if the Avs end up winning their division and face off against a wild card team. These two teams might, take each other out in the first round, the way that we've seen the Avalanche and the Stars, do to each other a handful of times over, the last couple of years here. Or if the Avs end up falling to that 2 or 3 seed in the division, they're going to have a very tough first round opponent like we've seen the last couple of years. So, even more reason that they really need to go out there and win this division.
Yeah, I mean, the NHL playoff system is just ridiculous. It just is. I mean, how could you potentially have the two best teams in hockey going at it in the second round? It doesn't make any sense. I think the Avs will. I mean, I'm hopeful. There's so much time left, we don't know, but I'm hopeful they'll be able to win. I want to look at the NFL playoffs though for a minute. Let's look at the AFC. You've got the Broncos and Pats at 11-2. Jags, Steelers, Chargers, Bills, and Texans now round out the field. Dante Gomez, this might become a weekly thing for us, both on Mondays and Fridays, because it's before the Broncos game and then right after the Broncos game when we have a little bit more information. If I were to ask you right now, will the Broncos get the number 1 seed? Your answer is
yes.
By winning out?
No, I think the Bills go in and beat New England this weekend and give the Broncos 1 game cushion to also lose 1.
Okay.
What about you?
If I were to say, well, hold on. If I were to say you have to bet $1,000 on the Broncos winning the number 1 seed, how good would you feel about that bet?
I feel pretty good about it. I would say I'd feel above 50%, probably closer to like a 60 to 70%.
Okay. I'd feel pretty good about it too. I like their chances. And I'm not going to bet $1,000, but if I had to, I'd feel like, all right, they have a legit shot. As I look at the playoff field, I think the Broncos are the team to beat right now. And that's not to say that they're a perfect team. They have their flaws. But I have great respect for the Patriots. I kind of have to hold myself from gagging while I say that, but I think Drake May, honestly, is just outstanding. I think he's terrific. And defensively, they're pretty darn good. It's a very good team, even though they're young and turning things around too. But they're still untested, unproven. The Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence, not sure yet. Don't know. Steelers, not a believer. Chargers, too hot and cold. I mean, again, flaws. The Bills, they've looked really good, and there have been some games they should have looked really good in, and they haven't. And then the Texans, we talked about them earlier. They're sneaky good, man. They scare me maybe as much as anyone in the AFC right now. They really do. Outside the Broncos, out of the rest of the field, as it stands right now, the Texans, to me, are the least favorable matchup for the Broncos.
Yeah, and I think that just goes to speak to how even the AFC and how open the AFC is this year, where there's a chunk of like 4 teams that's like, I don't know how I feel about if the Broncos had to match up with them in the playoffs, and I would put the Texans in that group. But to me, it's Texans, Bills, New England, Denver, and then that might be the list right there. But still, there's a lot of teams that can go out and win this conference. It is by no means a gimme the way we saw, with Philadelphia last year winning the NFC, where it's like, oh, everyone kind of knew Philly was going to run through the NFC in the playoffs and represent, the NFC in the Super Bowl there. So I think this AFC has a lot of exciting playoff games ahead for them.
In the NFC, want to touch on this. Who wins the NFC and gets the top seed? Will it be the Packers? Will the Rams hang on? Who you got?
I would have to look at their schedules more, but
who do you want to know? I've got them in front of me.
I pulled up the Rams right now.
Okay.
They have a decently tough schedule.
Who do they have left?
They have Lions, Seahawks, and then Falcons, Cardinals. So pretty easy down the stretch. I would go with the Rams.
The Packers have at Denver, at Chicago, home to Baltimore, at Minnesota.
Yeah, I like the Rams in that situation to go out there and get it done. And it looks like they have a tiebreaker over Seattle in their own division as well, because they've beat them already. So they'll face off again later. I think it's next week, it looked like, on the schedule. So a lot up for grabs still, but I think the Rams, just veteran quarterback, veteran coach that's won the Super Bowl, quarterback that's won the Super Bowl. I think they just have a very professional attitude about them, and they realize how important that 1 seed is.
While we're talking about teams like the Broncos and how you feel about them in terms of winning the conference, I get that it's not yet January 1st, but how you feeling about the Nuggets? That's next.
Denver and Green Bay are set for a potential Super Bowl preview. Kick your football Sunday off in style with Denver Game Day, powered by Common Spirit Health, official healthcare partner of the Denver Broncos. Live on Game Day starting at 10 a.m. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Imagine almost every jewelry legend all under one roof.
Roberto Coin, Marco Biccigo, Ippolita, Paul Morelli, Mikimoto, Tacori, Hearts on Fire, and dozens more, all in one store.
Imagine a diamond bar with almost every size, shape, and price range GIA diamonds.
And a Swiss watch center with all the great marks, including Longines and the legendary Tudor. I'm Dylan.
I'm Shayna Williams, inviting you to Williams Jewelers of Inglewood.
We've built one of the largest jewelry stores in America with one vision.
To be the only jeweler you will ever need.
For that perfect diamond engagement ring.
The ultimate holiday gift.
Or just because you deserve it. Williams Jewelers of Inglewood at the corner of Broadway and Bellevue.
Now, imagine their face Christmas morning.
This holiday, come to Williams Jewelers.
Where Colorado shines.
Williams Jewelers, we can make diamonds a part of your life.
The official jeweler of the Colorado Avalanche. Williams Jewelers, where Colorado shines.
Men, it's the holidays, the season of all kinds of hustle and bustle. But if your energy is down, if you aren't sleeping well, if your sex drive is MIA, and you just don't feel like the guy you once were, maybe it's tough to get excited for all the holiday cheer. This is Jeff for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, and if this sounds like you may have low testosterone. And if so, this is the season for you to get treated. At the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, we're experts in treating low T. If you're like most guys, you'll feel the change in just a few weeks. And truly, the results can be life-changing. You'll have improved mental clarity, your energy will kick up, your workouts will be better, your sleep patterns will improve, and your sex drive will likely heat up as well. So call us, and don't go through another season with low T. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com. That's RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com. We have 5 offices across the Front Range to serve you.
Makita knows that pros never settle, and neither do we. With Makita, you get tools that perform at the highest level on every job without compromise. Makita is for the most detailed pros, expertly engineered to deliver precision, job after job. When your work calls for the best, call on Makita. Makita. Built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
Ulta Beauty's big holiday beauty sale is back with up to 50% off must-have gifts.
Shop irresistible deals like the Shark Beauty Flex Style and Benefit Cosmetics travel size mascaras. With new offers weekly, same-day pickup or delivery, and our trusted associates, we make holiday shopping effortless. Head into Ulta Beauty today. Ulta Beauty. Gifting happens here.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Want to look 10 years younger and lose 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds before spring? Then it's time for Soda Weight Loss. Soda Weight Loss works without drugs or crazy side effects. In fact, our disclaimer would sound like this.
Side effects at soda weight loss may include looking better than you did in high school. Friends asking, okay, seriously, what are you doing? Long-term confidence, increased energy, the urge to take more photos because you actually like what you see.
I'd been wanting to lose weight. I tried on my own. I'd been seeing things for soda, and I was like, okay, I gotta go see what it's all about. It's a great idea. It's a great experience, and I couldn't be happier, honestly, with the results.
You do not have to use weight loss drugs to lose weight and enjoy a healthier, I look 10 years younger version of you. With Soda Weight Loss, you get round-the-clock access to your own personal nutritionist, and right now, when you join Soda Weight Loss, your partner joins for free. Visit sodaweightloss.com. That's SOTA weightloss.com.
Soda is, say it with me, state of the art.
Get ready for every Broncos game with Super Bowl 50 champion Brandon Marshall as he joins the drive every Friday afternoon at 4:45 exclusively on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Thanks to Corwin Toyota Boulder. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. DenverSports.com and the Denver Sports app. It's a Bud Light Football Friday. Bud Light, an official beer sponsor of the Denver Broncos. Here's Denver Sports Tonight.
Mike and Dante on a Bud Light Football Friday on Denver Sports Tonight. 303-713-1043, the RamosLaw.com text line. The Nuggets are 18-6. They are 12-2 on the road, and they trail the Oklahoma City Thunder by 5.5 games in the West. The Thunder 24-1. You think the Thunder set the NBA record for wins in a season?
I do.
I do too.
Just that plain and simple. I think they're just on an absolute tear. They're young, and they really don't have much to play for after winning the title last year. Obviously, you want to go into the playoffs on a good streak, but you don't have to set the record necessarily. There's other than being a part of history, they're probably going to cruise to the number 1 seed in the West.
They're cruising right now to it. I mean, the Nuggets are 6-4 at home. That's the reason why they're 5.5 back. But here's where I come down on the Nuggets. I love the Nuggets. I think they're in great shape in terms of where they are, given that they've had some injuries. I mean, CB, Aaron Gordon, they've had to battle through some adversity here. And yet they're still 18-6, which is like the best start in franchise history. And yet I look at the standings and I project towards April and I go, Dante, can they beat the Thunder? Can anybody beat? I know things change in the playoffs. I know we're not even in January yet. I know I'm going to a place mentally where I don't have to go to right now. But that thought does cross my mind, like, man, are the Thunder just going to go wire to wire without without any hiccups. It rarely happens.
Yeah, I mean, the last time we saw the NBA win record get set, it was the 73-9 Golden State Warriors, and they ended up, tripping and falling in the NBA Finals to LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, and that Cavs team. So it is definitely possible. I think you have to have a lot go right for you. But this Nuggets team, I really would say that I wouldn't rule them out in any playoff series that they have, and that includes the Thunder as an opponent there. So I think there's a way they can win a series. I think they're going to have to pick it up defensively. You have one of the greatest offenses in NBA history, and the fact that you're still 4.5 games behind the 1 seed, to me, it kind of points to how shoddy their defense has been, especially compared to the Thunder. The Thunder have one of the best defenses in the NBA. Same thing last year, top 5 defense as well. So I think they're really going to have to pick up that end of the court. And I obviously doesn't help that you've been missing Aaron Gordon, been missing Christian Brown, a couple guys that are more defensive minded. So I think once they get those guys back in the lineup, we'll have a better idea of who this Nuggets team is. But yeah, one big thing, you got to fix this defense.
No question.
Not fix, but just improve.
Well,
are you saying? I was trying to say that it's not broken. Are you trying to say?
Fix to me doesn't. I'm not trying to say that there's no redeeming quality defensively. They have not been good on defense at all, in my mind. I mean, even the last 2 games at Sacramento, at Charlotte, giving up 105 and 106 respectively in those games. Look who you're playing. I mean, come on. Sacramento walked in here and got a win earlier in the year, and that never should have happened. Am I worried about the Nuggets defense? No, I'm not worried because they have the capability of playing better, but would I say I hope they buy in and actually put in the work to be better? Yeah, there's a part of me that's got to see it.
When you say they have the capability to be better, obviously they have the capability of being better than what they are now, but I don't know if they can ever match up what the Thunder are able to do. Just the level of athlete that these other teams have that the Nuggets don't quite have, I think that is a little bit of a concern that no amount of effort can fix.
I would agree with that. At the same time, I don't think the Nuggets have to be at the Thunder's level defensively in order to make a go of it in a 7-game series with that team.
No, that's true. Just how gifted they are offensively, and when you have Jokic, that thing just runs like an orchestra. So that's a good point. They don't have to be on their level, but I think you still have to be close to that top 10 mark.
Sure, and they have to be better than where they are now. And on the one hand, I do completely see what you're saying with Brown not playing for an extended time now. AG still going to miss more time. Those guys will help defensively, but the guys who are playing right now still need to put in a better effort defensively. They need more buy-in. I'm not seeing that commitment. I'm not seeing just getting down and dirty and gritty, and it's a team that's lacking defensively for me right now.
No, I think that's fair, but again, this kind of goes to my point of I don't know. Obviously, they can be better, but I don't know if they have a top-level defense in their repertoire. Just when you have Jokic as the center, he's not, the most gifted defender. I think that's fair. As great of a player as he is, and he's, arguably a top 10 player, top 15 player in NBA history. Certainly the best player in the world, I think, the last, 4 or 5 years here. So I just don't think his strength is defensively, and that's not going to change overnight. And I'll include Jamal Murray in that too. Jamal Murray's a little undersized and doesn't quite like to put in the same effort as some of the guys that guard him in these playoff series.
So the Nuggets go 5-1 in their last 6, and all 5 wins were on the road. They had that just really bad loss to Dallas at home back on Monday the 1st, and kind of a quirky schedule now during this 4-game homestand. Houston at home Monday, Orlando here on Thursday, and then Houston comes back a week from tomorrow, the 20th. So they play Houston twice in Denver in a matter of, a week. And then Utah will be here a week from Monday, the 22nd, right before Christmas. That's a busy stretch leading into Christmas. Monday the 22nd, home to Utah, at Dallas Tuesday the 23rd, and then the Christmas night matchup against Minnesota on ESPN.
I'm excited to see those Houston games.
Absolutely.
I mean, Houston's, neck and neck with the Nuggets right now in the West, so I think that offers could be a really high level of basketball that we're going to see in those games.
And the Nuggets won down there. I remember that was early in the season. That was like mid-November or so, and I didn't think the Nuggets were going to pull that out, and then they did. 112-109. Joker, 34-10. I think we need to have a contest at some point, Dante. Once we get past football and we're talking Nuggets more often, we need to have a contest for people to come up with the most unique word to describe Joker.
I like that, actually. That should be fun.
That should be fun. Always fun to be with you. Thank you, my friend.
Absolutely, Mike. Have a good weekend.
He's Dante Gomez, Mike Rice. Thanks for being with us. Enjoy the weekend. We'll talk to you Monday on Denver Sports Tonight. It's Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
Will the Broncos defense overwhelm Jordan Love? Will R.J. Harvey put together another solid performance in the run game? We'll react to it all in the Fan Football Postgame Show. Live on game day starting at the 2-minute warning. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
Blue Sports Stable is where our community comes together with ice rinks, indoor turf, basketball courts, golf simulators, fitness center and restaurant, themed public skates, ice bumper cars, and learn-to-play classes. Join youth and adult programs that keep families active year-round. Host unforgettable birthdays, corporate events, and team-building gatherings with one-of-a-kind activities. Your neighborhood hub for play, learning, and connection. Visit BlueSportsStable.com and follow @BlueSportsStable on Instagram. Blue Sports Stable, something for everyone.
It matters who your lawyer is. At Berg Simpson, we truly care about the quality work we do, that fair compensation is given, and that our clients are getting the best possible representation. We're proud of that, and it shows.
If you've been injured, call Berg Simpson for free now at 303-790-2525, 303-790-2525.